Hey, what's up, everyone? TC here. TC Lifestyle Fit Podcast. I have Miss Gina Davis. She's an independent contractor with One World Health Centers. One of the most fabulous people I've ever met in my life. You know, I was at the grocery store recently. Whenever I go to the grocery store, I love talking to people. But, I'll ask them, hey, how was your day going? Oh, it's just fine. It's just okay. That didn't happen when I asked her that question. She has this illuminating, positive energy. I had to invite her to be on our show, and I found out she's also in the wellness profession, so she can share some insights and perspectives on what she does, to help people improve their mind, improve their bodies. Okay, Miss Gina, tell us about you. How did you get connected with One World Health Center, and what is the overall scope of your practice?
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to your podcast.
Oh, come on now.
Such a pleasure to be here.
All right.
And I have been working with One World Community Health Centers for the past 6 years as a wellness coach. I have a longer history with One World. Actually, I've been part of the company for the past 15 years. But for the past 5 years, 5 to 6 years, I have focused on the wellness part of society, right? Which is the prevention of cardiovascular diseases, and we focus on the prevention of diabetes, which we know that it has been impacting our communities for a very long time. And a lot of our minorities actually have been lacking on education on how to properly do modest lifestyle changes in order for them to, better their health.
Oh, that's so good. For those of you out there who might not know what type 2 diabetes is, it's basically a condition that we develop through sedentarism or inactivity and a disordered eating routine.
Correct.
So can you elaborate on how you help people in those 2 specific areas to teach them how to move more? Because that's the true measure of your quality of life, your aerobic health, your physical strength, your mental health. And there's a full dynamic that we can dive a lot deeper into. But can we start there just from the movement aspect and also how we should eat?
Definitely. So first of all, we work with a program that is being designed by CDC. And this program, CDC, the Department of Control and Disease Prevention.
Okay.
And it's led by the National Alliance for Hispanic Health. Those are the ones who provide the funds for this program to be provided for free for our participants. The classes we provide are in Spanish and English as well, so we can, cover a more variety of communities and cultures. And we focus on portion sizes, food ingredients, which is, your carbohydrates, your proteins, your fats, healthy fats, unhealthy fats. And we don't necessarily guide them on diets. We guide them on healthy behaviors, how to choose properly, how to properly implement vegetables into your daily nutrition, and obviously how to be active. Like you said, sedentary lives are killing us. And then so we motivate people to stay active for at least 150 minutes per week, which is barely 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. And obviously, if you want to do more, then it's better for your health as well, right? But we basically guide them on ways to do it simple. Like you don't have to have big finances to exercise. You can just go for a walk. You can go up and down the stairs, play with your kids, play with your pets, go to the park, exercise on your own living room. And, just simple methods that sometimes people don't have the initiative or the knowledge how to do. So we just basically give them tips on how to improve their lives.
Wow. That's a handful of information. I'm sure your clients are well taken care of because you have such a brilliant mindset. Now, you were saying you work with Hispanic community, also with just people who are English speakers. There's a difference in culture. And what I'm learning as I study communications and in language, it's important to understand another person's model of the world. What are some of the differences that you see in terms of those two groups, their perspectives towards health, and what are you like doing to bridge the gap between the two?
Basically, you have to individualize the treatment, basically,
Yeah,
because not everything fits for everyone. And even in the Latino community, not every country has the same customs on food or nutrition or physical activities. So by learning from them and being a little more culturally humble on having an open mind and being more neutral, instead of me telling them what to do, I basically ask them what works for them and what are their customs and what things they can implement within their own culture. So that works pretty well because they're not feeling like they're being told what to do, but they're discovering their own strengths, their own weaknesses, and then they create a model that fits themselves and their family as well.
Wow, that's so good. And I'm also realizing, as we're both coaches, it's important to there's a time to listen, and then there's a time to talk. To be successful as a professional, you need to have a healthy balance between introversion and extroversion. Because if you don't speak up when you're supposed to, you lose your power and you miss out on other opportunities. Yes. But if you speak too much, you're putting yourself in a position where you're not able to absorb information that gives you the tools you need to help someone on a high level.
Correct.
What are you learning in your practices on how to communicate to your clients? When is the time to just sit back and listen to what they have to say, and then when is it time to like speak up? What is the balance that you're learning in those two areas?
Well, so the curriculum that we provide, it's a curriculum that has been already designed. So we give them the information we need to give them. Either if it's manage your stress or how to identify your triggers or how to eat healthier away from home or how to choose, healthy fats, unhealthy fats, for example. And then once I provide the information that is provided to us by CDC, then it's an open discussion. Once it's an open discussion, people have the opportunity to share their opinions, share their experiences, and they learn from each other as well. So I'm not a teacher there, I'm a coach, I'm a facilitator. I'm there to provide certain information and then allow the team, the group, to elaborate on their own experiences. And they usually find their own solutions within the conversation as well. And for example, a mother of four can give an advice to another mother, or this guy who probably works 10 hours a day probably can give an advice to another guy who probably is in a similar situation on how they have implemented those healthy habits. So that's basically the balance that we have within the groups, and we have several groups. We have a total of 5 coaches providing classes as well at One World, and it's been fantastic. For the past 6 years, we have just impacted so many lives, and so many people have come back, refer other people, and it's great.
Well, how could you not impact the world with all that positive energy? That's so amazing.
Thanks.
Another important quality of a coach is to be altruistic, which basically means I feel your pain, I see your pain, and I have the tools to provide you with the solution to overcome your obstacles.
Correct.
Can you elaborate on that? Because we do live in a society where there might be a group of 5 people and they see someone on the street hurting and they'll all walk by. But there might be one person walking down the street and they see someone else hurting, they'll go help. What is this cultural diffusion? Where does all that come from? And now, just you as a coach, like, what is your perspective on being more altruistic in your approach to clients?
We all have had experiences in life, and we all have need somebody at some point. And being humble enough to understand that if you're in a position to help somebody and you can do it, go ahead and do it. Even if it's with just an advice or, guiding them on the right direction or connecting them with the right people. I believe that is very important, that you can create, like, plant a little seed on somebody's life, and that can actually grow into a beautiful tree eventually, right? And that person can continue to pass the seed to somebody else. I have experienced different things in my life that, especially related to health conditions or chronic conditions with family members or friends that I have had. And that actually grew my passion to learn more about the aspect of health and just, spread the voice and help everybody else.
That's so good.
Or at least some people, right?
Now, in my, even in my practice with wellness, you're teaching people how to improve their nutrition, their exercise habits. And now I'm really focused on the mental and the emotional aspect, because we have these experiences from our past that has created this inescapable maze in our mind. And when you have a hard time navigating through your mental health as a human being, it becomes difficult for you to adopt any practice that makes you a better human being. I'm just curious, what is your mindset or your perspective on mental health?
It's so important. Like you mentioned, is the base of everything. If our brains are not convinced that we have to do something, we just are not going to do it. Independently, if we have all the tools in front of us, if our brain is not, if your mind or your mental health is not on the point that needs to be, it's not going to help you. And it's been a taboo for a lot of cultures to seek for mental health or therapy, or even just, get advice from somebody else, or just open up on the traumas or things that have been bothering them in their minds. And I'm actually very happy that now there's a lot more coaches that focus on the mental health, because it's part of wellness. It's the body, the mind, and the spirit. And you have to start with your mental health. There's a lot of people who suffer from depression, suffer from anxiety, which does a lot of times lead also to chronic conditions because they lead to unhealthy habits. And being able to, first of all, recognize that you have a situation or a condition or a problem, I believe is the first step for you to seek the help that you need to receive in your life for your own sanity, your family, your kids, your spouse, anyone who's around you needs to be benefited from your own well-being.
Wow. It helps to give to people.
Correct.
If you just focus on giving, focus on being a blessing to someone else, it's the connections and it's the contributions in our life. If you can start there, that will make a significant impact on your mental health. The greatest gift that you could give to another human being, I learned this from Vanessa Van Edwards, who is a body language expert. We're at the Global Leadership Conference. This was last year. She said the greatest gift that you can give to another human being is dopamine. Just saying something positive about that person, whether it's their hair, it's the clothes that they're wearing, tell them they did a great job on a test, something positive. And it also helps to do that for yourself. Because if you're empty on the inside, there's no way you'll be able to pour out that success into other people.
Exactly.
Now, a couple more questions before we start that. We could go all day on and on because you're amazing and you're just a wealth of knowledge in the area of wellness. So you said you were born in Honduras.
Yes.
Yeah. So can you tell us about that transition? When did you get here?
I got here in 2001. I was 20 years old when I came to the United States.
Oh, you were living in Honduras up to that point.
Yes.
So what happened that led you to the United States? And how did you feel once you got here? And what are some of the noticeable differences right away?
Oh, the language.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah, language. Right.
The weather.
The weather, for sure. If you coming to Omaha, Nebraska,
From a
during the
tropical
wintertime,
place.
did you come from a tropical place to Omaha, Nebraska?
Yes.
Oh, big
And
difference.
I did it on winter time. During
Oh my
winter
goodness.
time.
You, I mean, as soon as you step off that plane, you want to get back into it.
I did.
Because winter here will build your character.
Yes. I wanted to go back the same day. It was a matter of morning I had 80 degrees and then at night I had below
80 below.
something.
Wow. Amazing.
It was such an impact.
Just to elaborate even more. What was the transition? Like, tell us more about the transition and why you left Honduras to come to the United States and what opportunities were presented once you became to Omaha, Nebraska.
So I come from a family of 9 siblings and a single mother, unfortunately, like many other families. And my mother had to come to the United States in order to provide better life for us. So she was working here, and eventually through a process of immigration, she was able to give my residency and my couple other siblings. We were underage, so it was a lot easier for us to get the process going a little faster. So we arrived here in the United States through my mother. And when we came here, like I said, the language was such an impact because I was used to my native language only, which is Spanish. And it was very challenging. Very challenging because you don't know how to navigate, you don't know how to communicate, you don't know anything, the culture, the hidden rules of the culture, nothing. So actually, one of the reasons why I work for One World is because that was one of the organizations that helped me incorporate into Omaha, Nebraska. You know, they have so many services. They have interpreters, first of all, which was amazing. Mental health, physical health, you know, all cultural inclusion and everything. So I got hope. And I started to develop myself, studying with the language, of course. Once I dominated that, I had to continue my studies here in Omaha, Nebraska. And in 2011, I became a massage therapist, which...
Are you still practicing massage therapy?
I kind of switched to the wellness part of it, just because as a massage therapist, half of the concept of the whole training is wellness. Wellness, injury prevention, disease prevention, and all of those things. So I transitioned all of the knowledge and continue to prepare myself as a wellness coach instead. So I could have like a better impact on the community or help them, not necessarily just fixing the problem, but helping them how to stay healthy and how to stay active and how to have mobility as well, because it's something we take for granted.
That's true.
Mobility. And we don't know how good it is until we cannot move anymore.
If I'm stiff, like I do the robot, but if you are stiff all the time, I mean, it's debilitating.
And it comes with sedentary life, comes with obesity, comes with, like I said, it's a whole scope of many things, mental health and everything. So that's a little bit of my experience here for the past 20 years.
So amazing. Everyone, you need to work on the entire gamut of your health and wellness. I know those two terms they're slightly different, used interchangeably. However, your mental, your physical, your emotional, environment we don't talk about a lot either.
We don't.
Like the environment you're in. If your environment it could be people in your environment. You need to surround yourself with positive. You need to surround yourself with eagles. She's an eagle. You don't want to surround yourself with the ducks and chickens who aren't going anywhere. Surround yourself with positive people who want to fly high and help you go places. Connections
are important, and the right connections are more important. Like you said, positivity in our lives. If we seek positivity, is going to lead to more positivity. If we seek the negativity, consequently, it's going to lead to that as well. So Like my friend Tim says, surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah.
Good networking, a healthy circle of people. And sometimes it's hard to let go of those relationships because for a lot of families, that's the most important thing, relationships. But it's good to understand which relationship is good for our mental health and which ones are not. And it's okay to say, let go and move on.
Absolutely. I mean, some of my closest people don't even have the same blood as me. I mean, you could it's okay to love people from a distance. You just need to ask yourself a question. Is this relationship helping me get to my goals? And if the answer is no, I mean, you still need to be there and support people who are in your family and lift them up and care for them. But it's okay to separate yourself because you made a decision to move forward in life. If someone else made a decision not to do that, it's okay. And maybe eventually, once they grow into their maturity, they're just at a different season in their life. But you don't want that to stop you from making progress in your life.
And it's a mental model.
Yeah.
And we choose what mental model we decide to follow. And the positive ones are the ones who are going to give us a better impact on our lives and our kids and our descendants.
That's right. The bottom line is be positive. Give your best energy and effort to other people. One more question. Who is your hero? Who is your hero? Is it your mom? She sounds like a hero. She came all the way from Honduras to Omaha, Nebraska. That reminds me of, I don't know if, I don't really watch this show as much, but one of my favorite characters on SpongeBob is Sandy.
Really?
The reason why I love Sandy so much, because she isn't even a sea creature. And she found a way to be successful in an environment that isn't conducive for her to live. And she's a scientist and she's making all these projects and tools to make Bikini Bottom a better environment. And she's positive. She loves people. That reminds me, when you talk about your mom, I think about that.
And definitely, my mom is my first hero. I have several heroes in my life. But my mom, she taught me the sense of community. I remember when I was little, she would always volunteer in the community to help our neighborhood be a better neighborhood for her kids. And she was always focused on the growth of her family and the improvement of her family. So that's a good role model that I have always followed. Always work hard. Don't give up. Always find the best for you and your family.
Don't give up, man, and just keep working hard. I know that's going to be a tough one to tell, you keep working hard. Don't give up when you in life, you can't always see what's in front. That's a reality of life, is the uncertainty. But that's where the faith kicks in. There's
always going to be challenges in life.
Always challenge. Always. You still have to move forward because the last thing any of us can afford to do is stand still and waste our time. There's always, God has a perfect plan and a perfect purpose for all of us. If it's good, it will succeed. We just need to keep moving forward with our best.
Focus on our goals.
Focus. I love that. Focus on the goals. Before we go, talk about that. Focus. What's your focus?
My focus is actually growing to be a better person for society. My goal in life is to create a bigger impact for my community and help them grow healthier, happier, more successful. And obviously I had to start from the bottom on my own life, and I have continued. And my passion is to be an example for other people to follow.
You know what, Gina? You can't get to the top without starting on the bottom. Nobody starts out on top.
Definitely.
And you just gotta, kick, scream, climb, whatever it takes, get there. And it also makes that process a lot less complex when you have a healthy circle of people who want you to succeed.
Definitely.
All right. Well, let's clap it up. Clap it up for Miss Gina Davis from One World Health Center. You're an amazing individual. Thank you for being on our show today. You are just a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of energy. How can everyone, is there a website people can find you, or do you have social media or anything?
Definitely, if they would like to find the services that One World provides, they can go online and Google One World Community Health Centers. .org, and it will be a list of many services, like from mental health, behavioral health, physical health, anything that you can need for you and your family, you can find it there. So you can definitely look it up.
Go to One World and then click on Gina Davis, and you're gonna be just okay. All right. Everyone, thank you for tuning in to our show today. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the TC Lifestyle Fit YouTube channel. And remember, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. Guess what? We are better together.
Yes.
We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Bye.